The Auburn Tigers add a big-time addition at the wide receiver position out of the transfer portal. Let's talk about it on this live edition of the Up-Tempo podcast. Yes, sir. Let's go, Auburn family. Let's go up-tempo game. Blake Lane and Dustin Smith back. Another live edition of the Up-Tempo podcast. Going live on a Monday night for you guys because obviously tomorrow is Christmas Eve, man, and we're going to take the week off. Let everybody enjoy their Christmas time. I hope everybody is relaxing with the family, man. I hope everybody's chilling out, blessed, no problems, eating some good food, and just having a good time. Blake, we got a lot to talk about tonight, buddy. Adding a big time addition out of the transfer portal, wide receiver from Georgia Tech, a name that we heard about. Took a little bit longer than me and you expected. And I ended our last show by saying, I really, really hope Auburn gets a kicker. And then wake up that morning, and the next morning, Auburn had a kicker. Charles Kelly accepting the head coaching position at Jacksonville State, man. So how are you? How are the family?
Everything hey, man, we're doing great over here. I'm still battling a little sickness. I can't knock it out of the park just yet, but I'm here. And hey, to everybody, have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year. Stay blessed, man, and thank the good Lord above. And spend the family time. Spend the family time. If you're out there and you got any bad blood or some beef with some certain family members, man, squash that stuff because you never know. You never know what tomorrow brings, right? So you got to squash the bad stuff, man, and live it up and enjoy what we're about to all celebrate, man. And that's Jesus Christ and his day. And here we are tonight to talk about some Auburn football, Dustin. I like what Auburn's doing, brother.
Yeah, I do too, buddy. But before we talk about the good, let's get in here. And I guess it's bittersweet, but the Jacksonville State Gamecocks playing the Grinch this Christmas, dude. They came in and they stole Charles Kelly from us. And I think that the frustrating part to me is, and I am not mad at Charles in the situation, definitely happy for him. And we all know it's a good thing when your assistants get promoted. I think the frustrating thing is we saw Charles Kelly played at Auburn. He's an Auburn man. We saw him over there at Bama being successful for so long, and we all kind of wondered, what would it be like if we ever got him over here on our squad? And then we did for 1 year, and we saw excellent play on the field, and then we saw what he could do in the recruiting rankings by signing Eric Winters and Anquan Fagans, two of the top safeties in the entire country. When you look at how Auburn dominated the state of Alabama in the top 10, especially in this recruiting cycle, getting 8 of the top 10, one of them going to Oregon, one of them going to Ohio State. So none of them went to Bama, man. Like that's Charles Kelly. That's Charles Kelly. His relationships in the state of Alabama, big time. So Blake, we know that Hugh Freeze is going to always replace a good recruiter with another good recruiter. I think that if you look at the defensive line situation last year, that gave me a lot of faith. Jeremy Garrett moves on to Jacksonville Jaguars, getting that NFL promotion. We promoted an off-the-field guy and Coach Williams, and he steps right in. And probably the on-the-field was great. I look at the jump that Keldrick Falk made. I look at the season that Malik Blockton had as a true freshman. The on-the-field was great from Coach Williams. But also he signed what is probably the strongest position group in our 2024 class and dominating and getting the Jordan Crawfords and the Antonio Colemans and all that. So I trust Hugh Freeze, man. But I got to say this, Blake, it's going to be hard to replace Charles Kelly because they don't get much better than this guy. Well, I think we'll do good, but those are big shoes to fill. He's the GOAT.
I even talked to Ike with this, and I said, man, losing Charles is tough because of the recruiting. The kids loved him. You could tell by the tweets that were sent out how they felt about Charles Kelly. Even family members, all right, not just the players, the family members were even tweeting about Charles Kelly leaving and going to Jacksonville State. And we all agreed. Everybody at the War Report Network said, hey, this is going to be a big-time loss, and it's going to sting a little bit because of the way he dominated on the recruiting trail, especially here in the state, like you mentioned. I don't care what anybody tells you, folks. recruiting the state of Alabama is massive. People can blow it off all they want to, and they can downplay it that, Alabama didn't get any or whatever. It's massive. It's how Nick Saban turned things around at the University of Alabama. It all started with Julio Jones. Don't let them fool you, okay? It's massive, and it started with Charles. So losing him hurts, but I'm also happy for him. I'm also like, hey, man, he finally got to become a head coach. This is what he was looking for. And it's in his home state. Yes, his alma mater is Auburn, but it's in his home state. And he wants to go continue what Rich Rod had going at Jacksonville
It's a
State.
good job, Blake. It's a good job.
It is. And they're producing a lot of talent out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, they just went on the road a couple of years ago and beat Florida State at Florida State. I mean, this program is no slouch. So I'm happy for him. Now, I trust Hugh Freeze to hire who he has hired on the defensive side of the ball. We talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
We're going to trust who he hires because he hasn't made the wrong decision yet on the defensive side of the ball. Even Ron, you can be mad at Ron Robertson, the type of person he was, behind the scenes and all that you heard that come out, right?
Yeah.
But defensively, you look at scheme and the production, I thought he did a pretty damn good job besides one play. Besides one play.
Yeah.
Right? For what he had to work with, I thought he played it pretty well, man. And then you follow him up with DJ Durkin, like your assistants. You haven't missed. So I'm not worried of who we bring in or, where we move guys and position them around in certain rooms and all that. I know some people question, oh, we're bringing in an edge guy and he didn't play edge and all this. I don't know how it's going to work out, y'all, but I do know this, all right? There's a lot of great coaches in college football who coach position groups and they didn't play those positions, okay? One is Damian Craig is one of the best position group coaches in college football. He played quarterback at Auburn University. All right. He coaches wide receivers. All right. He does it all. He moves all around. He's coached quarterbacks. He coaches wide receivers. He'll do a little running back. Y'all, people, they move around. All right. They learn techniques. They learn from other coaches. We're going to be okay. We're going to hire a great group. And I trust you and I trust DJ Durkin and what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball, Dustin.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. As long as DJ's there, I'm good. I think that if you look throughout Hugh's history, he always has good defenses. I think that's an offensive guy knowing what gives him problems, right? He faces a guy and he's like, oh, that could be problematic. Hugh's always had a good eye for defenses for all of them. I mean, down to the defensive line, all the way up to defensive coordinator. He's always had solid defenses. He's always built a good staff. And you won't be on this staff with Hugh Freeze if you can't recruit.
Yep.
That's just a given. So I trust that he's going to fill that spot, man. And I think that now with the rules allowing you to have such an expanded off the field staff, you can promote guys from within. And we know that TJ Rushing is coming up. That was announced after the Josh Alders move.
Mm-hmm.
But TJ Rushing coming up, a guy that has coached with DJ Durkin previously at Texas A&M. He's going to coach the Sam linebackers and the nickelbacks is what Caleb Jones at Rivals reported. I was reading before we just went live here. So still got another spot to fill here with Charles Kelly leaving. I trust you to do it and all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people have been asking about, is there a possibility that Trevon, my DMs got filled up this weekend, is Trevon Reed coming back? I know that that would be great, but I think that Trevon Reed is getting some bigger offers other than position coach at Auburn right now. So, I don't expect Trevon Reed back, at least right now. I'm telling you, as they throw off the gloves over here on my screen and get to fist fighting with the hockey matchup, I'll try not to get distracted. A good fist fight breaking out. But yeah, man, it's I just trust you, like you said, Blake, to fill that spot. And I see what Brett says here. He says, I've got a kid going to JSU. They're D1 now and just won the Conference USA Championship. They've been putting money into that program lately, expanding the stadium, so on and forth. Yeah, that's why I said it's a good job, because they are putting the money behind it. whenever they were trying to hire Vincent away from ULM, I was surprised because he was at UAB previously under Bill Clark. I was surprised that he turned down the Jacksonville job. He withdrew his name and then signed an extension to ULM. I guess they gave him some kind of vote of confidence that they were going to pump a lot of money into that program down there. That shocked me. And that's why this whole thing became available. They were set to hire Vincent away from ULM, and then he withdrew his name. In comes Charles Kelly. So big shout out to Charles Kelly, man. He's earned this job.
I agree 100%, man. I'm proud of him. Can't thank him enough from coming from Colorado to Auburn, getting the shot at his alma mater, and now getting a head coaching gig, man. That's awesome for him.
Yeah, big time. So Josh Aldridge gets promoted up to defensive coordinator at ECU. He had been at DC previously with Hugh at Liberty, but bumping back up from position coach. Charles Kelly getting his first opportunity at what we think is a good job. You can win there. Like Brett just said, they're putting the money into the program there. They're serious about building a solid program there at Jacksonville State. So, yeah, very happy for Charles Kelly. It's a good thing, and it's going to happen when you have a defensive year like Auburn just had. You crank out a top 25 defense, and you're the youngest defense in the country. Yeah, man, that's what happens. People get promoted, they take bigger jobs. So I think that we could just trust you, and what he did with Coach down there at the D line is a good example of stocking up.
Yeah, and the thing with Trevon Reed is, we all want the former guys to come back, right? You want the former players and what kind of person he was with the players and all that, man. He had a big thing that stuck with me was the relationships that he made with the players, even if they didn't pick Auburn. The relationships still traveled. I think Trevon wants to climb up the ranks fast. I think he wants to get, be a coordinator, then possibly a head coach at, maybe the FCS or whatever. Like he goes to G5 or whatever, I think he wants to go that route. Then possibly, he might make his way back to Auburn. You never know. But I think he wants to take that route, get his feet wet, and coach big-time football, and him possibly run his own program.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens with Trevon Reed. There's a lot of Auburn men out there, though, making waves. Man, I saw Cody Burns getting a big job down there at USF, getting co-offensive coordinator and all that. So shout out to all our Auburn guys out there making noise in the coaching ranks, man. I'm proud of all of them cats. Southern Miss kicker Connor Gibbs. Blake, I got my Christmas wish. He went 10 for 13 in 2024. And this long stands out to me, 59. I know you watched the Cowboys-Bucks game last night. I had never been so pissed that this dude from the Cowboys is out here nailing them from 60, dude, with 5 yards to go, and ultimately he won the damn game for the Cowboys. And I thought to myself, man, they could pick up 2 first downs, and they're in freaking field goal range. And I see that our guy Connor here has a long of 59. So playing at Southern Miss, he played 2 years, so he's going to come in as a junior. Still got 2 years of eligibility. Man, I'm not saying this official or anything, Blake. This right here kind of tells me, and then just some of the things I've seen, read, and heard publicly, not even like inside info stuff, right? It seems like the future of McPherson is really up in the air. And man, I hate that for the kid. I'm praying for him. I hope that it can get right. I hope Towns McGoo figures it out. He's got all the talent in the world. He just got off to a rough start. Maybe it was just one of the things where it steamrolled downhill. But reiterating what I said on the last show, you absolutely had to do this. This is one of my biggest needs in the portal, man. You had to do this because it just can't cost you games again. You're going to depend on it, and you had to go get a guy, man.
Look, y'all, I don't want to get everybody too excited, all right? But I talked to Connor this weekend, all right? And he said when he gets back to Auburn, and the holidays are over, New Year's is over, he would love to join us. And because I wanted to talk to him about him entering his name into the transfer portal. What is it like to go through that process? What is the recruiting process like and all that stuff? I thought it would be a cool little segment, a little episode, and to get his thoughts about coming into the kicking battle, because that's what I think this is going to be.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think you had to go get a guy to push Towns McGoo. who was a highly rated kicker coming out of high school. And yes, he had the yips. But you had to go get a guy because of Alex. Like, pray for the dude every day, man. Like, I hate the situation that he is in. I feel so sorry for him. But your health is more important than football right now. And so you're with Towns in the year that he had. You can't just say, yeah, we're going to run it back with Towns. You got to go get a guy. And you did. So now, Towns Magoo, hey, you got to step it up, brother. Like, the ball's in your court. If you want to be the kicker for this Auburn Tigers football team in 2025, you got some competition, brother. Connor Gibbs is here to compete. Connor Gibbs, long of 59. Hey, he said, hey, I'm ready for the challenge. I'm coming in to win a job. And there you go. Like, it's something that it's a position that you had to address. And you did it. And I tell you this, kicking lost us games this past season, y'all. I don't care how you want to slice it, who you want to put it on, or however you want to go about it. It lost us football games. It put us in positions where I was hanging my head, even in Kentucky, even in Lexington. We come out and we missed. And I was like, no, not this way, man. We're not going to do this week. It was an every week thing. And it's got to be fixed. It's the third phase of the game, and it gets overlooked, and Hugh's out here trying to fix it. So, massive pickup for the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, big leg, really excited. A-Day is going to be lit from a kicker battle standpoint, huh?
Gotta be.
I
Gotta be lit.
Woo,
but yeah, hell, you know what's crazy is Towns was lit last A-Day.
Yeah,
and that's what had us so excited is we were like, if Alex, if he can't go, that's okay. We got Towns. And then there we were. So, hey.
You're going to have 3, maybe 4 guys if McPherson's healthy battling out to see who gets that spot.
Go.
Man.
Kicking battle. That's the highlight of A-Day. I can see it now. quarterback, and kicker. I mean, whew,
yeah. As we're saying right now, it's going to be Deuce and Jackson. That's all you got. It's going to be the only 2 arms, so they're going to get a whole lot of run. And then, yeah, man, you got 3, maybe 4 kickers battling out. And I'll tell you another room that we're excited to see everybody battling out is, and that's this wide receiver room. Look, it took a little bit longer than expected. Eric Singleton Jr., the Georgia Tech wide receiver, transferring to Auburn. He has 2 years of eligibility left, 56 receptions, 754 yards last year, 3 touchdowns, 5'11", about 190, 195 pounds. He can play some inside, play some outside, kind of think what Robert Lewis did last year. We're hoping that it's going to be a lot more effective. Joining the transfer, Horatio Fields, right? Transferring over from Wake Forest, a bigger body guy to kind of join the rotation. I think he's filling the spot of Cam Brown, who entered the transfer portal. And like I said, I think you see Eric kind of playing that Robert Lewis role, and that can still give Malcolm Simmons his opportunity to get his reps at the slot. Haven't given up on Bryce Kane yet. I think the cool thing about this is, and we talk about this in the quarterback room, and it kind of fell apart on us, but you just want to add the most guys that you can and let the best ones rise to the top. So when you just stack in as much talent as you can, and we'll figure it out. And look, Ole Miss was hard after him, and that's always a tough battle. So when it comes to transfer portal guys, so shout out to Hugh, shout out to On to Victory, shout out to Will Redmond. I know that he's playing a big part in this massive transfer portal class that Auburn's bringing in. This is big time, man. This is big time. What it gives Jackson Arnold is, I mean, unless what happened at Oklahoma happens at Auburn, where you have your entire offense gets hurt, and they 5-6 receivers got hurt in the span of a couple weeks for Oklahoma, but that's so rare. We know there'll be some injuries there, so like cool that we were building up depth there. But there's going to be no excuse for Jackson Arnold when it comes to weapons. Like, you've got guys, and I think the thing that I like the most about Eric Singleton is I like the guy that can line up all over the place, right? I like the guy that can line up in the slot and do some things there, and they can line up on the outside as well. He's not pigeonholed to one thing, so the other guys, Perry can eat on the outside. Malcolm can still get his reps in the slot and everything like that. So I think it's a great fit. I think the one thing that this offense needed was the guy that can do that, right? The guy that can do a little bit of everything, because let's just be honest about it. Robert Lewis let us down last year. And there's a lot of plays that if he would have made, how does the season look? Probably a lot different. I'm interested to see what this offense looks like with this kind of guy. If he can come in and give us similar numbers. And look, 754 last year, and then in his freshman year, he had 714, 48 receptions and 6 touchdowns. So this is a guy that in his 2 years has produced over 700 yards both times. You got to think that he's going to be able to step into this Auburn offense and at least be able to produce that, right?
Yeah, and look, here's my thoughts on Eric Singleton Jr. I posted this today. I think he's a great route runner, sticky hands, makes tough contested catches, can climb the ladder. Hey, even at his size, he can climb the ladder and get up and get the football at its highest point. Can take the top off of the defense as well. Can pure scoot, okay? He can blow the roof off of it. He is another weapon. He's another big-time playmaker down the field who can go get it. And he's also shifty on the jet sweep. Georgia Tech used him in the backfield a little bit. They do jet motion, get the ball in his hands. He's another playmaker, y'all. Kid can fly. He can fly. He's a game changer. And it's just another weapon for Jackson Arnold. And I see in the comments all this stuff about who's the next quarterback that we're going to get. All right. The mysterious QB of the Auburn Tigers.
He's always out there.
Yeah, it's lingering out there. Look, y'all, Jackson Arnold.
Yes, the guy.
He's going to give every opportunity. You put the weapons around him. You try to make life easy for him. Same way, look, you tried to make life easy for Peyton. It didn't work out. That's why we're not sitting here saying that Jackson Arnold's going to come in and throw for 3,500 yards, and he's going to throw for 29 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. But you try to give him the weapons to make him successful. You ain't got to transfer running back. You got Damari, you got Cobb, you got the kid from UConn. You're trying to put pieces around him to make life easy for him, get him comfortable in your system, which he is very familiar with. So Eric Singleton is just another guy that's going to come in. And I know people want to compare him to, yeah, you got Alvin too, Daniel. But I know people want to compare him to KLS. There's some similarities in their game, like of how they can change the game. They're electric. They're big-time playmakers. They can go up and make plays down the field. But I don't think like KLS was a guy, he's on the outside, man. Like he was a difference maker out there. I think Eric's going to make his money on the inside, and I think that's where him and Malcolm are going to truly eat.
Yeah.
Is on the inside. Now, I think you want the same production. If he comes in and he can be that guy like right next to Cam Coleman, if he can be that guy right under Cam, and you say, man, like you did it with KLS, you did it with Eric Singleton Jr. I think that's what Auburn's looking for is if you do that, then you're looking at Jackson Arnold in this football team and you're saying, hey, the Jackson Arnold thing might be working out, right? Like things might be looking up for Auburn. So that's why I love the pickup. I'm extremely excited about this one. Once again, I will never worry about wide receiver at Auburn University as long as Hugh Freeze is the head coach.
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. KLS coming up 19 yards short. Big time season. Let's get to some of these comments before we get out of here. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button, sub to the channel if you haven't. Get over here to these. Auburn Dad says, Merry Christmas, Up Tempo family. He has now been a member for a year, and we appreciate you, Auburn Dad. I know, Blake, you put up the Mississippi versus Alabama All-Star pod for what you saw for our members, and yeah, I went back and watched that, man. Good stuff. So you guys sign up for the memberships if you want that exclusive content. I got some stuff that we'll be dropping for you guys later this week. Ernest says, wise words, much love, Up Tempo gang. Absolutely, man. Do not forget what Christmas is really all about. I know it's easy to get caught up in all the hustle and bustle. Brett likes the tiger eyes, Blake, a little new addition to the scenery tonight.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my mother-in-law. Her and my father-in-law, they're big time Alabama fans, but they bit the bullet and they got me this for Christmas, and I had to hang it up. And I just appreciate them, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, man, looking official over there. Chris says, War Dan Portal, Merry Christmas to everyone. Appreciate you, buddy. Daniel says, I cannot believe Auburn is not number one in basketball. I can believe it. Yeah, you got some thoughts on this, Blake?
Daniel, I love the comment. Dustin, I just got to say this, man. I don't care about being number one in the AP poll. All right. I put it on Twitter a while ago. I don't care about being number one in the AP poll. Just give me a number one seed to the big dance. That's what I want. I want a number one seed. I want to get in that thing and have a 16 seed right out the gate and then have an 8-9 matchup for us to get out of the damn first weekend. That's what I want. I'm tired of hearing about all this. Oh, we want to be number one. Who cares, y'all? Who cares? Because I'll be honest with you, when you get to number one, it's just a bigger target on your back. What happened with Tennessee the other night? They were down to the wire. They get up to number one and they go down to the wire. I can't remember who they played, but it went right down to the wire. They squeaked out a win. I don't care if we're number one. They don't have to put us number one all year. Just give me that one seed, baby. That's what I care about.
Yeah, I hear you. You know what's so crazy, man? It's like this basketball team is so good that I've realized how good they are. And now my biggest thing every game is I just want to get out healthy. And boy, Janai scared the hell out of us the other night. But it's like, man, I just want to get out healthy because I know how good this team is, and let's just get to March healthy because I already know the kind of season this team is just too good. This team's just too good, man. There's gonna be a lot of. I mean, Purdue's a good team. Purdue's a good
Absolutely.
team. They didn't look like they even belong on the court with us, bro. They didn't even look like they belonged out there.
You know how good Purdue is, all right? One, it was on the road. It still happened. They played basketball. They beat Alabama. In my opinion, some might not like this, but I think Auburn and Alabama are the two best college basketball teams in the country. I do. Duke is right there in the conversation as well for me. I would say those three teams, I don't care what order you want to put them in. I think at the end of the day, they're the three best right now that I have seen play. Purdue also went to Marquette and waxed them, mopped the floor, said, hey, we're coming in here and we're taking over. So I don't care about being number one. Yes, we beat Purdue. Let Auburn go under the radar. Let them fly silent. Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay. Like John Fanta, hey brother, we respect you putting us number one. Like that's awesome. But the AP, that's cool, man. Just put us as a one seed and let's play the thing out because I would love to see an Auburn Alabama national championship. Just put us on opposite sides of the bracket so that could actually possibly happen. And then how cool would that be? I mean, that'd be dope.
Yeah, the state might shut down and it might break a couple of social media apps, buddy.
Yeah.
Todd says, Add Up Tempo podcast. Are we going to get a fourth QB from a playoff team? You want to answer this first?
I'll be honest with y'all. Look, it could happen. Something could magically happen. I just don't believe that it's going to happen. I've said it multiple times. You paid Jackson Arnold to come to Auburn, Alabama. Former 5-star plus, highly rated guy. You got Deuce Knight in there. I see a lot of love for Sam Jackson possibly being that fourth guy. I don't think that would be a bad thing. I don't think it would be. He's not going to play, right? Like
it'd be bad if he did.
Exactly. So I just don't see Cade Klubnik transferring to Auburn, y'all. I don't.
Quinn,
I never have. I never have. I just don't see it happening. And why? Why though? That's my biggest thing is why would Cade Klubnik transfer to Auburn?
Yeah.
With Auburn's offensive line issues. I know they're trying to fix them. But when you just look at it, why would he transfer to Auburn? I don't like that. I think we're in another direction, and we got to accept that. It's not a bad direction. I'm not saying going and getting Jackson Arnold's bad.
Right.
I'm just saying throwing all of this mysterious QB around. Just like I told y'all last year. Got on here and I said, guys, Cam Ward's not coming to Auburn. Oh, but on 3 said Cam Ward's coming to Auburn. That's just how I feel about it, man. Cam Ward was headed to Miami to go ball out and make a lot of NIL money. So that's what he did. Dustin?
Yeah, no. The answer is no. I mean, why would you leave us if you're the start? I mean, Todd, maybe there's a second or third string on one of these playoff teams that is willing to come in and compete and all that, like the kid from Stanford, Daniels, is. But is a starting quarterback on a playoff team going to leave the team that he is a starting quarterback of, that's a playoff team, and come to a 5-7 team that doesn't exactly have a history right now of being the place you go as a quarterback? Doubt it highly. So yeah, no.
Another
Jackson, I believe.
Another reason why I don't think it would happen is Cam Newton. Cam Newton was on his show and he said, "Hey, Deuce, I hope you're great because the quarterback play at Auburn has been ass." That was his quote. That was quote for quote. That was what Cam Newton said. And he was being straight up with Auburn fans. So why would a quarterback at a playoff school hear that and be like, yeah, man, I want to go to Auburn? Yeah. I don't see it.
Yeah. I am with you. Miss Crotchfield is in here, says, War Damn Eagle, Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas, Miss Crotchfield, to you and your family.
Yes, man.
Thank you for still being in here supporting. Hope that you get to see Zach and y'all have a good Christmas. Thomas says, didn't anybody tell y'all we're a basketball school? The views. I mean, the views don't. We can do a basketball episode and we can do a football and the views don't. But we are good at basketball, Thomas. We are really good at it.
Here's the thing, Dustin, with that. All right. The Duke game got over at like 10:30. I got on here, did a quick reaction pod, told you how I felt about Auburn going into Cameron Indoor. It was a positive pod. It was a positive episode. I didn't down Auburn losing. I said, hey, we went into one of the most hostile, arguably the hostile environment in college basketball history. The one with the most just blue blood that you could possibly be. And I said, man, you had the chance to win late. You just couldn't get it done. And it got 200 views. So we're not a basketball school and never will be. And that's all I'm going to say. I feel like I've addressed that like 7 times. And I feel like I have to address it on TikTok too, because people are like, oh, you're a basketball school. No, we're not. We're just good at basketball right now.
The entire SEC is good at basketball at this point. And all of these schools are still football schools. Make no mistake about that. Todd says, didn't say starting QB, but Coach Hugh Freeze said he wanted QBs. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, buddy. I mean, Auburn's going to bring in, there will be a 4th QB, 100%. We all heard Coach Hugh Freeze said that. So is Auburn going to bring in another QB? Yes. But what me and Blake have been asked a million times, so I thought you were asking, are they going to bring in a starting QB that's been super successful on a playoff team? To that, no. But yes, Auburn is. It's very, very common knowledge that Auburn is bringing in a 4th guy. So if that's the question, then yes, obviously.
If Quinn transfers to Auburn, my jaw would hit the floor.
Yeah, I'll come in here and say I was wrong, and I'll be happy about it, and I'll be shocked.
Yeah, I'll make a whole episode eating crow.
Right.
Say I'm sorry, man, because I just don't see it happening. Didn't we offer like the Charlotte quarterback? I think I saw somebody say that we offered Charlotte's QB or something like that. We sent a flyer out, maybe. I can't really remember, but I thought I saw something on Twitter about that. But I just don't think it's going to be anybody major to transfer into Auburn.
Yeah. I mean, you got to fill the spot, and I think Sam Jackson might be the play there. Bump him up to be that 4th string guy, because it's going to be hard to get a guy to come in and be 4th string, right? Like, hey man, do you want to come in here and be the arm, because we need an arm for spring? Like that's just not that's a tough sell. So it very well might be Sam Jackson. I wouldn't be surprised at all. He's played quarterback before, and I guess the thinking there is if you got down to that point, if you got down to your fourth guy, and it was Sam Jackson, then you can do something. Like it would be heavy on his legs. You'd be heavy on QB run. But when you get down to fourth string, beggars can't be choosers. And if you got down to Sam and it was a scenario of him being the fourth string, then absolutely, at least you would feel like, all right, man, it's going to be kind of wildcatish, but there's something we could do here to possibly move the sticks.
No.
You got anything else before we get out of here, Blake?
I think Sam Jackson would be a solid option as that fourth QB. You put him on scout team. And how many times did Auburn have to face mobile quarterbacks last year?
Felt like
Diego,
another game.
Yeah, Diego Pavia is coming back to Vandy. Man, let Sam Jackson get over there on that scout team. Him go against the ones. He's played a lot of college football. Mobile guy. You're playing a lot of mobile quarterbacks. I thought your defense played pretty well against mobile quarterbacks, moving out the pocket. Even against Jalen Milroe, I thought they played pretty dang decent to win the Iron Bowl. Your offense just couldn't produce. So I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I still think this thing is Jackson Arnold's to lose, and I will live on that. He went out and he got his guy and he brought him in for a reason. And that's the way Hugh felt about it. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Y'all hit that like button, sub to the channel. I just hope everybody has a good Christmas. Enjoy your time with the family. Don't think there's going to be too much news popping off this week. Do got some member pods that we will keep uploaded for you guys throughout the week to keep you guys busy. Got some basketball stuff dropping for you guys. Got some recruiting stuff. Time to look forward to this 2026 class, man. And I'm excited to do that. I saw Jeremy Garrett transferring from Gulf Shores up to Auburn, so that'll be very interesting, man. So really excited. Got a lot of stuff going on. So Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And man, we'll see you guys later on in the week. It's War Damn Eagle, baby.
Yeah, War Damn 12-team playoff is trash. Let's go, baby.
Yes, sir. That was rough, man. That was rough. We'll see y'all.